As we went over our vision statement, healthy people inside and out in every community across America. It's been so fun from a larger looking down perspective in leadership to see how God is working in smaller communities. And so I love Beachside and I love all these Colorado Springs. I love these cities, but what's been really an opportunity that I feel like God has given to us is in rural America. And when I opened Trinity Fitness Kingman, I thought there is no way God, this is going to work. The population is 3,000 people, and I'm pretty sure they have no idea what Metcon means or AFAP or anything of it. And then God challenged me even further. It worked. Imagine that. God tells you to do something and it actually works. But and then he called me one step further to a little town with a co-leader, Leslie Epp, that has a population of 650 people total. So yeah, 650 people. And so I wanted an opportunity for Leslie Epp to share a little bit of her story. I'm going to welcome her up on stage, just so that you guys can see a model that doesn't just work inside a gym or on a slab, but how you really are developing community inside, which in her case is a middle school gym.
Thank you, Susie. All right, so I brought some notes with me because sometimes I forget what I need to talk about. But first, I'm going to share a little bit about Pretty Prairie, but before I do that, I want to share, much like several of you have already done, an example of how community has been shown to me in Trinity Fitness. So I've been a part of Trinity Fitness Kingman since they opened their doors, and it's been just a huge blessing. But even just last year, my family, we decided that we were going to sell our house and move to another house in our tiny little town. And I reached out to Kingman and our Pretty Prairie people for Trinity Fitness. I had people coming over from the gym to my house to paint, Angie and Andy. And so many people, I mean, Diana and her husband, so many people have been there to help us in times of need. And it's just as simple as just asking, a phone call away or a Marco Polo away. So that is just one example of many, many, many examples of how you guys have shown community to me. So I started with Trinity Fitness as a warrior in Kingman in July of 2018, so 5 years ago. And in November of 2019, became a trainer. Jason came down and helped co-train us with Susie, and that was amazing. And then Daniel and Susie wanted to challenge me even further, and they asked me several times, especially Daniel. He saw Susie's vision and he saw the Lord's vision, but they asked me so many times about what if Pretty Prairie? Could we do this on a smaller level in Pretty Prairie? And let me remind you, it's a town of 650 people. And I'm not from there. So I was a little bit scared. I was not confident in that. But eventually I came around and I trusted that they knew what they were doing. I trusted that the Lord knew what he was doing. Go figure. And so 2.5 years later, here we are. So I've been running with the help of Kingman, running Trinity Fitness Pretty Prairie, and we are under their chapter. But I do want to say that for the first year, this tells you how dedicated Susie was to this. For the first year, she came to Pretty Prairie once a week and trained. Every single week, Susie came there and trained a class Monday morning for me because I didn't have the confidence that I needed to be able to just fully take that over. So thank you for that, Susie. Diana and her co-facility director, Tyler, were physically there in Pretty Prairie with me on and off for the first couple of weeks because I lacked the confidence that I needed to know that I could do this without their support. They are always there. They're always a phone call away, and it's amazing to know the support that I can get from Kingman, but also even just from all of the other chapters. There's so much to be gained from every single one of you. So I told you I'd tell you a little bit about Pretty Prairie. We started in a high school parking lot. It was right before summertime, so it was nice and cool out at 5:30 a.m. And we had hundreds of dollars of equipment donated to us from our Pretty Prairie Recreation Committee. Hundreds of dollars of dumbbells donated. So that was just a huge blessing. I carried those dumbbells around in the back of my vehicle from May until September. Talk about community. Our warriors unloaded equipment every single class, and then they reloaded it every single class. I did that until it got too cold to work out outside in Kansas, and I begged the school, didn't have to beg very hard because they're very gracious, to use their space. And they said yes. I filled out a very short application. They said, yes, come on in. You can use our middle school gym. Here's the stipulations. Just don't mess anything up. I haven't messed anything up, and I've applied again to use it this school year, and we're approved to use it through May of 2024. So we have this space completely free. They don't charge us a penny. We have zero overhead, but we do ask for a very small donation. I asked my warriors for $20 a month for time and keeping up equipment, but also, more importantly than those two things, is I don't know what the Lord's plans are for tomorrow necessarily. I don't know what they are for a year from now, but I want to be ready for when he makes that plan known to me. So $20 a month from a few warriors is not a lot this month. It's not a lot. Our P&L is very small. But over time, it adds up, and it's going to prove to do some really amazing things in a very small community that needs it. I want to share all of this with you so you know that opening up a Trinity Fitness gym isn't necessarily a brick and mortar. It doesn't have to be a huge undertaking for you and your partner, whoever that is. It can be something as simple as borrowing a middle school gym or using a parking lot or a slab, whatever that looks like. God opens doors no matter where you are at. All you have to do is ask for them to be opened. So, one reason why I was very, very hesitant when Daniel and Susie were asking me this was because my family had been under a personal attack for many years. And when I had finally decided to say yes to this opportunity, to say yes to Susie and Daniel, and most importantly, the Lord, we had just claimed victory over that attack 6 months prior. And Susie asked me, I'll never forget this, she's like, are you sure this is the right time now? Because we had just claimed victory, and we were living in that moment every single day. It was amazing. And I just thought to myself, if I'm not going to do it today, when am I going to do it? So my encouragement for you is that if you feel like you're being led in something, whether it's something like this or anything else that the Lord is leading you in, don't be afraid to take that leap of faith. There are so many rewards that come from believing in the Lord and really having trust in him. So I just want to encourage you all in that, regardless of where you're at in life right now. Just know that if the Lord has that plan for you, he's going to carry you through. He's going to see you through the entire thing. So that's all I've got for you.